Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Welcome to part 2 of our sorghum syrup making. If you hadn't seen part 1, I'll be sure to link that. Check that out first. So this is not a how-to video. We are just experimenting. Andy was gifted the materials and equipment it was needed to make molasses. And we were very thankful for that. I'll also link that video if you want to know the story behind all that. So what we've been doing here now is we went through and cut most of the seed heads off of our cane here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to squeeze a little bit and just see how that goes. May go good, may not go so good. We'll see. Here is the setup.
I have to sit on the seats because the PTO won't work on this tractor unless somebody's sitting on the seat.
That's
so I
right.
gotta sit on the seat.
So Andy's got this rigged up here. This is temporary, but the PTO runs the gearbox that runs the press.
Yep, and rigged up is definitely the word for it. So it's probably the most rigged up molasses mill you'll find on YouTube. Anyways, it's just set up because I knew we weren't going to be doing a lot. The reason it's mounted on the trailer is so I had somewhere flat and firm to mount it. So we just got the whole unit sitting on the trailer. I guess you kind of say we got us a mobile sorghum mill here. But anyways, so what happens is you feed, after the PTO is running, it's making these two big rollers here inside this mill turn against each other. And we're going to feed the stalks through there. Somebody's going to have to be on the other side keeping the old stalks out of the way. And then the juices are going to be running down through here and running down through here and into this pot. And we're going to set a screen on top of it. And typically you would have like a bigger setup than this right here, but since we're only doing a little batch, like we're just making do with this right here just to see how it all works. So this is the first time I've ever used this mill. First time I've ever, actually I think I did feed cane into a mill one time at the festival we done, but first time we've ever done it for ourselves. So we're just going to see how it goes. We have no clue how this is all going to play out here. We have no clue how long this is going to take. We have no clue about any of this. What I do know is the guy that gave me the stuff here, the wind's blowing, but the guy that gave me the stuff told me that he liked to press his one day and he let it sit, and then the next day is when you cook it down and you let it sit. So like we're going to let it sit in this pot here, and anything else that's in it will settle to the bottom and it'll just be pure juice towards the top. And when we go to dip it out, we'll make sure not to stir up what's in the very bottom to, you know, get it back into the juice. So that's going to be a sort of a purpose of letting it sit overnight.
And it's going to be cool enough tonight that it shouldn't hurt.
No, it shouldn't at all. That's right, because it will sour if it's hot outside. But anyways, let's get started with it. Huh. I didn't expect the mill to move like that.
It's
I know, I didn't expect that. It ain't going nowhere. Dirty.
Is it going in the pot?
Yeah. Hold on. We may need some more tubs. We may get a lot more juice than I thought here. Still some in it. It's green now though.
Yep, I see that.
So we had to run a little bit through there to begin with, I had already cleaned this thing up really good, like with sanding it all down and everything, because it did have rust on the rollers. But we run a little bit through it and realized we still had some rust coming through. So now it's all looking good and green the way it's supposed to look. When the first few stalks we put in it, the juice was brown. So I think we've got it clean now. Finally got it all squeezed. And I will say, it was fun, but it was more work than I anticipated it being. And we only done a little bitty bit. You know, most of these boys, when they do it, they do mounds of this stuff. But we learned a lot. We learned a lot. If we're going to have it, like if we're going to continue to do it, we need to make sure we've got it completely clean in the field, because we were having to strip some of the leaves off of it here. And when we stack it on the trailer, we learned something, that we should have it all over to one side so we could go right and have them all the seed heads kind of in line with each other, so I could go right down through there with like a hedge trimmer or something and just trim all those seed heads off, because we actually had to cut every single seed head off with a pair of pruners, and that was extremely time consuming. So had we done those two things, we'd have saved a ton of time today. But anyways, I think we've got about 10 gallons of juice. So I wanted to show you here before we end this what comes out, what the strainer catches. So that's just all the junk. Like we've dumped this thing off several times throughout the process here. And then this thing's still draining. This cloth here, this cloth catches all kinds of stuff. Like right there, I guess that's just pieces of the stalk they got in it. We did have which this is to be expected, because that mill had not been used in, gosh, probably 20 years. So we did have some rust come through on the first batch, and we poured it all out and started over. Had that rust may have not hurt anything, I don't know. But there was enough of it in it that it was changing the color of the juice from that green color. It was more of a brownish color. And we just didn't like that. So, yeah, let's see. Can you see the juice there? We didn't like that. So we poured the first little bit out and just started over. We are going to have to strain every bit of the juice again. Because in amongst all of this, we had a couple of times where we took the cloth off to clean it, or either put a new one on it, and well, it fell into the juice before we could catch it. And so all this stuff is
Some of it may have got
it's probably floating down in the juice, especially on the first pan we had. This is our last pan that we done, and it's pretty much full. I think it's actually full to the top. I believe that's why it's not straining no more. So let's pull it off and check it out, because the juice is up to it.
Are you sure?
No.
Hold that tail.
I got it.
Oh yeah.
Yep, it's up there. Yep, there we are. Once I get this squares out, run over and get one of them lids and we'll put on it. So there's everything that it caught. You can see it's mainly just looks like little chunks of the stalk and everything. I see some brown in it. That's probably
It
either.
looks way better than the first towel.
Yeah, the first towel was nasty. It was. But so now we got to figure out how to cook 10 gallons down. Who knows? We might not even get a quart of molasses out of 10 gallons. I don't know how much juice it takes to make 1 quart of molasses. I think that actually varies year to year between how much moisture and stuff's in the stalk and all. But you know, you'll have to ask somebody with more experience than me. So, anyways, it is squeezed and it's going to sit overnight. We're probably going to strain it one more time this evening and then just let it sit overnight. Let all that stuff drain to the bottom, and tomorrow we'll be cooking it down. But anyways, y'all, I guess this is going to be it on this video. And the next video will show cooking it. Now, that's the part where we really have no idea how to do it. We're going to have to do some serious research tonight and see what all is going to go on. But anyways, we appreciate y'all watching. Thank you for tagging along. And
we'll see you on part 3.
Yeah, we'll see you on part 3. Have a good one.